Yeah, what's happening? What's happening with it, everybody? You tuned in to another episode of Everything Boxing. There you go, talking that boxing again. Yeah. And salute to everybody that's already in the building. When you do come in the building, if you could do me a favor and hit the like button, it'll be much appreciated. My man Macadon 1 in the building. Johnny Q off in the building. Catman 785. What's happening with it? Ultraman in the building. Kawhi Elliott in the building. Macados, Mac of the South. Marcus Walls. Ketty Peeps 504. MX in the building. Todd Swindle in the building. Mike Ryan. Macados, Mac of the South. What's happening with it, everybody? Yeah, we got some things to cook on today. We definitely got some things to cook on today, no doubt. Broderick Hunter, what's happening with it? Coach Amber, salute, Queen. Mike Ryan, what did it do? Yeah, like I said, we got some things to cook on. Let's see, you know what I'm talking about? Let's see. We got a big weekend this weekend. I'm excited about this weekend. I think the last time I've been this excited about a weekend in boxing is back with Clarissa Shields and Alicia Baumgardner. You know, they was all on the same card for that mega women's event over there in the UK. And that was what? October? Since October, I don't think I've been this excited about a weekend because don't let nobody fool you. Yeah, I like the Ron Garcia and Gervonta Davis fight, but it ain't messing with this Caleb Plant and David Benavidez. This is the best fight in boxing that we have announced right now. Caleb Plant and David Benavidez. So let's show them they love and support that they deserve. You know what I'm talking about? Let's show Caleb Plant. If you're a real boxing fan, let's show Caleb Plant and David Benavidez the attention that they deserve. You know, I think a lot of it has been overshadowed by, you know, Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis. And they got enough time, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot more time to talk about what's going on with that. But for real live, best versus the best, this is what we're getting with Caleb Plant and David Benavidez. So I definitely want to shed some light on their fight. And like I said, as you come in the building, if you could hit my like button for me, you know, get the lights up. B Mega Star, what's happening with it? Mike C, what it do? My man Junior in the building. Ultimate Fight Club, what's happening with it? Kirk McCall in the building. Light Skin Business. Dub right side. Never on the wrong side. Always on the right side. Respectfully. Yeah. Stay in 92. What's happening with it? Salute. Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, man, let's have a show. I'm not going to be in here for too long, but the time that I'm in here, we're going to cook. We're going to talk about some things. And, you know, like I always do, let's have a great show. BD Nice, what's happening with it? Jay Miller, what's happening with it? Man, I like the co-main event on this Caleb Plant and David Benavidez fight. That co-main event with Raul Valenzuela, you know what I'm saying, with Raul and Chris Colbert, I like that fight. I like that fight a lot, you know. Let's see, you know, Raul, he got knocked out by De Los Santos his last fight. Chris Colbert, he got completely beat down by Hector Garcia. So let's see how they bounce back. Because both of these fighters got a lot on the line, you know what I'm saying? Jose Valenzuela, he going into this fight knowing that he got to get a win. You know, I heard Jose Benavidez, his trainer, talking, and he said, look, man, This is a do or die for us. This is a do or die for Jose, because we know that if he don't win, he got to get back. You know what I'm saying? He got to go back to the bottom of the pack and climb his way up from there. You know what I'm saying? If he don't beat Chris Colbert, he got to go all the way back to the bottom of the rankings. So this is do or die for us. And, you know, Chris Colbert, I'm hearing him talk, and he kind of nonchalant about it. They like, you know, this is a must-win situation for you. And he like, it ain't no must-win situation. You know, people lose all the time. So he don't seem like that he too, you know, worried about it. He kind of like had the thing like, okay, well, if I lose, he like look at Tevin Farmer. Look at Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer had lost, you know what I'm saying, his first 4 bouts or whatever, you know. He like Tevin Farmer had got 4 L's, you know, early on in his career, and look what he went on to do. So it's not a must-win situation for me. And I don't know if I like the attitude of Chris Colbert going into this fight, because he should have that in his mentality that I got to win this fight. If I don't win this fight, you know what I'm saying, everything I've done in the past, it basically don't mean shit. Because we know how boxing is today. Boxing ain't like it was back in the day. You know what I'm saying, where you could lose and lose and lose. Boxing's not like the UFC. You lose 2 fights in a row, they're going to start calling you all types of frauds and bums and all type of things. So, yeah, it's a must-win situation for Chris Colbert, just like it's a must-win situation for Raul, for Jose Valenzuela. So, I don't agree with Chris Colbert. So, let him have that mentality and go in there and get his ass beat, and he going to see why it was a must-win situation for him. Chris Colbert can continue with that nonchalant shit. He go in there and get his ass beat again. He gonna really see why it is a must-win situation, why it was a must-win situation. Broderick Hunter says, I'm looking at Chris Colbert for real. He disappointed the fight of me. Yeah, man, I ain't really disappoint me like that, because I felt Chris Colbert was good, but I didn't think that he was that good. Like, I didn't really think that Chris Colbert was ever as good as he said he was. You know what I'm talking about? Because I seen him fight live, and I seen him fight live on one of Jermell Charlo undercards, and he didn't look good in that fight. You know what I'm saying? He barely, this was years ago, and this was when they were still calling him Little B-Hop, and he barely edged out a victory. And so I was chopping it up with him after the fight, and he was kind of making a lot of excuses about how he didn't feel good. And you could tell he was kind of embarrassed that night. You know what I'm talking about? He was making a lot of excuses, and, you know, he good. He cool, but I don't know. I just was never that impressed with Chris Colbert. And then he also said some other things, right? He says that he would take months and months and months off and don't even go to the gym. Then he said he started going to the gym like once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks. And now he was like, now I'm focused. Now, you know, I cut it down to coming like once every 2-3 weeks and stuff like that. To now I'm coming, you know, I'm at least in here 3 days or 4 days out the week. Bruh. 3 or 4 days out the week, and you supposed to be calling yourself a top-level prize fighter? I don't know about that. I know top-level fighters, they train damn near every day. Top, you know what I'm saying, the upper echelon of fighters, they train 6 days a week at least. So I don't know about Chris. I don't know about Chris Colbert, man. Real talk. But I don't know, man. I think I'm going to have to go with Jose Valenzuela to beat Chris Colbert, because he is a pressure fighter. And I've seen on several different occasions how Chris Colbert got he can't handle pressure fighters like that, or he's had problems with pressure fighters. You know, those other pressure fighters I've seen him have a problem with, they just wasn't, you know, they weren't that good. You know what I'm talking about? But they were still giving him a problem. So Jose Valenzuela, he could crack He looked like that he is focused now. I knew he wouldn't focus this last fight. You know, I knew things that he was doing outside of the ring. I saw him the week leading up to the fight. He looked sick in the face. He looked like he was a dead man walking. And I'm talking about Jose Valenzuela. And then when he made weight, he looked worse than Devin Haney making weight. So I knew he was drained. I knew that he didn't, you know what I'm saying? I just knew that he wasn't focused. He was doing too much of shit outside of the ring. And when he lost, it didn't surprise me. I told everybody, I said, look, man, what I tell y'all. Because I told everybody when he went into his last fight, I said, I don't know. He ain't looking good. Look at his eyes. His eyes is black. He looked, you know, drained and everything. And yeah, and he went in there and he didn't look good. He got his ass whooped. So, but I think he back. I think that, you know, he took this as a learning experience. And I got him beating Chris Colbert. I really do. I got him beating B-Hop, you know. But we'll see, man. Another hell of a fight that's on that fight card. My man Ultra Man in the building. Man, appreciate the support, man. Appreciate the support. Salute to you. And we got my man Jermaine Bean in the building. He says, Del Santos got a good win versus Ryo and got demoted. Yeah, man, it's crazy how they do some of these fighters, man. Del Santos, man, that was a hell of a win. That was more than a good win. That was a hell of a win because at the time, people was talking about Ryo at the top of the division. People was talking about they wanted to see Ryo against Gervonta Davis and things of that nature. And, you know, that shit went down the drain real quick. But let's see if Ryo can bounce back. He beat Chris Colbert. That's going to be a big win for him, and he's going to be right back on the map. So let's see, you know, and if Chris Colbert beat Ryo, that's going to be huge for him. So let's see what he's going to do, man. ATX Slab, what's happening with it? Trayshawn Edwards, what it do? Dankfather, what's happening with it? Stan 92. William Old School, what it do? James Vaughn, Leon Robinson in the building, what's happening with it? So we gonna see, man. Also, you got the poster child for PBC. You know what I'm talking about? And that's none other than Joey Spencer. You know what I'm saying? Man, Al Hammond and them, they love Joey Spencer, man. Joey Spencer, it's about time for him to step up. You know, it's time for him to step up, and he making the step up. This is a big step up fight for Joey Spencer. He fighting Ramos. Is it Abel Ramos? I think it's Abel Ramos or Hayes. One of the Ramoses. I gotta look. He fighting. I think it's Abel Ramos. He fighting, and regardless of what Ramos it is, you know, Joey Spencer is another fighter that I've seen struggle at point in times with fighters that I think that, you know, the way that they was trying to build him, that he should have been running through. You know what I'm saying? I've seen him. I thought Joey Spencer was the goods at first. You know, he had Andre Ward's backing, and, you know, they was pushing him. But, excuse me, if you look at his career, Joey Spencer been fighting cab drivers for a long time. Like, at one point, I thought Joey Spencer was going to be on the fast track. And then they kind of pretty much saw what I saw. They saw that Joey Spencer wasn't what they thought he was going to be. And so now, then they slowed him down. You know what I'm saying? They continued to give him Rudy Poot after Rudy Poot after Rudy Poot. And he ain't really looked that impressive. You know what I'm talking about? Joey Spencer, to me, I think Joey Spencer, he probably need to be fighting in the weight division lower than what he fighting in. He kind of looked like to me that, you know what I'm saying, he can shred a little bit more. He can train a little bit harder and get down and weight a little bit more, and that will help him a lot. But, you know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I like Joey Spencer. I met Joey Spencer when he was still a kid, you know, and I remember Joey Spencer, he was probably like 16 at the time. And I was asking him, was he planning on trying to go to the Olympics? And he told me, at that point in time, he told me no. He said, nah. He said, I'm going to go straight pro. I want to go straight pro. And that's what he did, you know. Like I said, Joey Spencer, he grew up around Andre Ward, being around Andre Ward's camp and things like that. Yeah, so, man, I like Joey Spencer, but to me, he just not near as good as I thought he was going to be. I think that Ramos beats him. You know what I'm saying? And Ramos he ain't all that to me neither, but I think he's good enough to beat Joey Spencer. But that's another hell of a fight on that fight card, man. It's a lot of great fights on that fight card. And so, like I said, man, this is big, man. Saturday is gonna be big. And let me tell y'all something, man. Real shit, y'all. If y'all want to continue to have big fights, and I'm gonna say this shit multiple times before I leave this live stream. And y'all smash my like button. If y'all can do me a favor one time, you know what I'm saying? It only take a second. Smash the like button and it'll be highly appreciated. But I'm gonna say this multiple times in this stream probably. If you want to continue to get the fights that we want to see as boxing fans, pay for the fight this Saturday. Don't stream the fight. Don't get the fight free thinking that you're doing something slick. Now, obviously, right? I understand. I'm not in nobody's pockets or bank accounts. If you can't afford it, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But if you can afford it, if you can afford to pay for the fight this weekend, don't stream the fight. Pay for the fight. And the reason I'm telling y'all this is because when fights like Errol Spence and Terence Crawford and other fights, you know, and I'm just using them for an example. When other big fights come up and they might be on two different sides of the streets, and then we crying about the fighters not fighting each other, a big, huge part of the reason is because of the money. Because y'all are streaming all of the big fights, right? So they're like, okay, well, and I'm going to use Errol Spence and Terence Crawford for an example, right? I'm not finna use, like, I'm not, like, saying this is the reason why Errol Spence and Terence Crawford didn't happen. But I'm using them as an example, right? They might say, well, this is a big fight. These fighters want to get paid. But we as the promoters, it ain't worth it. Because, you know, the last time we put on the big fight, the fans didn't pay for it. Last time we put on the big fight, the fans did not pay for it. So, you know, hey, it ain't worth it. And that's how these promoters work nowadays. Y'all got to understand, back when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s and shit, we was getting big fights all of the time because the fans were paying for the fights. You ain't had no motherfucking streaming stick. In the 90s, the black box came along, but everybody ain't had no black box. Everybody didn't have that bread to drop on a black box. I don't know how much people was paying for them. Probably anywhere from maybe $300 to $500 for a black box, you know, and those that's my age and older, y'all know what I'm talking about. But other than that, every household didn't have no black box. So people was paying for pay-per-views, and the pay-per-view numbers was in the millions, and we were able to get every fight we wanted pretty much, unless it was a fighter that, you know what I'm saying, that was scared of the other fighter, didn't want to fight. Other than that, we was getting the big fights. We wasn't complaining about, man, why such and such ain't fighting such and such, and why this ain't happening. Now we complaining about it, and the big part of the reason is us streaming big fights. Now, I'm not telling y'all to pay for weak-ass fights. If they putting weak-ass fights on, of course, if you're not interested in the fight like that and don't think it's worthy to be bought, worthy for you to spend your money on, well, of course. But fights like this, when they putting on fights like David Benavidez and Caleb Plant, and then giving y'all a treat with the undercard, pay for the fight. You know what I'm saying? And if you think about streaming the fight, because people gonna do what they gonna do when they in their own home, if they got a motherfucking fire stick or whatever they may have, and ain't nobody in their house, most people gonna stream it and tell you that they paid for it. People gonna do what they gonna do anyway. But I'm just saying, just think about it. when you got a fight like this, think about the next big fight that you want. And think about, hey, if I stream this, we might not get the next big fight. There's a whole bunch of other people like me that's going to do the same thing. So, But anyway, salute to A1 who's on in the building. Xena 360 in the building. He said, Joey fighting Jesus Ramos, the undefeated one, thinks Spencer is at a good pace with a big step up. He has 16 fights, so sound right to me. Dang, for real, Xena? He only got 16 fights, dog. Man, Joey been in the game for so long. I thought he had more than 16 fights. But, you got to think about it. You're right, because and this ain't no knock to PBC, or you could take it as a knock. A lot of their prospects, man, they don't have them fighting often like they should. Like Joey Spencer, right? You supposed to have him coming through the game, fighting at least 6 fights a year. You know what I'm saying? But he been in the game so long, I thought he had 20-something fights at least by now. So, yeah, you right, Xena. This is 16 fights. They got him stepping up at the right time. You right. But, yeah. And if y'all can smash my like button, hit the like button. It don't cost nothing. Like I said, it'll be highly appreciated to help me get the content out. Leon Robinson says, I don't think Joey got a gas tank to deal with Jesus. And so Jesus Ramos is the better one anyway. He the better one. Abel is the older one, but Jesus is the younger one. He better. I missed it. Let me scroll up. Okay. Ultraman back in the super chat, man. He says, having a fight party like I've been doing for years. Yeah, man. That's what's up, man. Yeah. You paying for the fight. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you ain't fire sticking the fight if you having a fight party, because that joint get to skipping on the whole goddamn crowd. Yeah, so I'm definitely buying this fight on Saturday. Definitely paying for the fight. And like I said, man, I'm proud to pay for this fight. They give me fights like this. Hey, I don't have no problem paying for them all day. Disappointed I'm not going to the fight, but we're going to be in that thing when EJ fight. His next fight, we're going to be off in that thing. My man A1 who's on, man, salute to you, man. Much appreciated. He says, don't duck this smoke. I got El Chapo over Plant. Bet. Not betting on that fight. If you know, you know. You know that I ride with both fighters real heavy. I'm a huge Caleb Plant fan. I was a huge Caleb Plant fan before I was a huge David Benavidez fan. I'm also a huge David Benavidez fan. I like both of these fighters equally. It's not too often that I can say that in boxing, where two of my favorite fighters are fighting each other. But this is one of the occasions. I think that it's going to be a hell of a fight. I do give David Benavidez the edge, but I'm not 100% sure about that. You know what I'm saying? I do give. At first, I was like, man, yeah, David Benavidez, he's stopping Caleb Plant. I was real sure about that. You know what I'm talking about? I was real sure about that David Benavidez was going to stop Caleb Plant. Couldn't nobody tell me different. But, hey, as the build-up of the fight continued to build up and I continued to watch both of them in training camp, it's like, man, they both on their A+ game, and I wouldn't be surprised. Whoever win this fight, I won't be surprised. If Caleb Plant pull out the victory, I won't be surprised. If David Benavidez pulls out the victory and stops Caleb Plant, either way, if he get a decision to stop him, I won't be surprised. It's just one of them fights, man, and I'm really not comfortable putting no money on the fight. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? But I do edge David Benavidez. I edge him, but like I said, I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with it, good, but who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe I'm just, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know. Let me see. My man A1 said, he said best of push-ups then. Man, I mean, bro, I picked David Benavidez to edge it out. If we bet, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care about doing no push-ups. I'm gonna do some that shit is like, to me, that shit should be done regardless. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them that's gonna tell you, like, you bet me push-ups and shit, like, I'm gonna do that shit regardless. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I just want to be able to watch this fight and just watch it. You know what I'm talking about? Watch it as a fan and sit back and really not rooting for damn one of these fighters. You know, I just want them to put on a great fight. He said, I'll bet that David win by KO then. That's fair. I'll think about it, dog. I'll think about it. You know what I'm saying? I'll think about it. But in this fight, Caleb Plant got to show me something different than what he showed me with Canelo Alvarez. Because I still remember in that Canelo Alvarez fight, once he started feeling Canelo Alvarez's power, especially to the body and on them arms and shit, it was like it was something different than what he had ever felt, and his confidence started fading away. I saw Caleb Plant's confidence fade away. Now, David Benavidez don't hit as hard as Canelo Alvarez. He's a different type of fighter than Canelo Alvarez. He is a pressure fighter, but he gonna hurt you with wearing you down, right? Because you can't keep up with his activity. And his shit is more just an accumulation of punches. You know, David Benavidez ain't no just, I'm gonna hit you with one shot and knock you out cold. That's not what he is. Canelo Alvarez definitely hit a lot harder than David Benavidez. So like I said, man, it's all come down to, is Caleb Plant in 15-round shape? He cannot afford to get tired against David Benavidez, because one thing we know, if we don't know shit about boxing, if we don't know shit about this fight, one thing we know is that David Benavidez ain't gonna get tired. He's not gonna get tired. His pace ain't gonna slow down. And he coming like that for 12 or 15 rounds. If they fought 15 rounds, he's still coming like that. So we know that he in shape. Caleb Plant, he say that he in the best shape of his life. He looked like that he in the best shape of his life. But the only thing we don't know, we gotta see him in the ring and prove that. Because we've seen him fade before. Now, earlier, I forgot who it was. I briefly read a comment earlier, but I didn't stop because I was cooking. Said that Inui got hurt in training. I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard about it. If anybody could, let me know if he was just playing with me or if that's true. Did Inui get hurt in training? Let me try to look up some information on it. Because if that is so, like, that's, man, I don't like that news. But, people like to play and shit. So, damn. So it is true. People saying it's true. I'm trying to look for it right now. Let me see. Damn. Like I said, I'm gonna look for it right now, and we can see what they're talking about, what happened. If anybody that got a wrench, if y'all can send me a link, that'll help out too. Yep, I got it right here. I'm gonna read it to y'all. Sources, they be killing me with this sources shit. What's happening with it, Ricky? C Love, I see you in the building. Catman 785, what it do? Trayshawn Edwards, what's happening with it? I'm gonna read y'all the article. Sources. Inouye injured bout versus Stephen Fulton. What the is postponed? Inouye suffered an injury in training, and his May 7th fight against in Yokohama, Japan versus Stephen Fulton for the Unified 122 Championship has been postponed. Damn. It says it's being rescheduled for the summer in Japan, sources said. The nature of the injury is unclear per sources, but the severity isn't deemed serious. Damn. So he did get injured. So they postponed the fight. But they saying the injury ain't serious. Huh. Well, you know, let's just cross our fingers and hope that this don't happen with any of the other big fights, because we missed out on Jermell Charlo and Tim Tszyu because of that an injury. You know, we missed out on the Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence fight we'll never get to see because of injury. So ever since the pandemic, we didn't miss out on a lot of fights because of, you know, injury, but we gonna get this fight. It's just gonna be later on down the road. So, you know, L Dub says, what's good? He said Frank Martin will fight 2016 Olympic bronze medalist Artem. I'm not trying to say his last name because I'm gonna mess it up. On April 22nd, Tank versus. Oh, that's dope. So they putting Frank Martin on the undercard of Tank and Ryan. Now, check this out though. So with that being said, that lets you know that Errol Spence, whoever he fighting, and we're gonna talk about that later on, but that lets you know whoever Errol Spence, and I appreciate that info, L Dub, but that lets you know whoever Errol Spence is fighting is pushed back further than they expected to be. Because I remember Frank Martin doing the interview, and I think he did it on Nick J, over there with Nick J, and Frank Martin said that he already knew it was that he was fighting on Errol Spence's undercard. He says, whatever go down, he says, for sure, my next fight will be on Errol Spence's undercard. So now we know that that's not the case. You know what I'm talking about? L Dub, he just came in and let us know that Frank Martin is fighting 2016 Olympic bronze medalist Artem, and I ain't gonna say his last name because I'm gonna jack it up. But on the Tank versus Ryan card. That's dope though. That's dope for Frank Martin. You know what I'm talking about? That's another a big fight, you know. I'm not too familiar with his opponent. I'm gonna have to go do some film study on his opponent, you know, and see what I see. But you ain't no Rudy Poot if you won an Olympic bronze medal. Well, you know, some. Let's say this. I don't really know too much about him, but if you won a medal in the Olympics, most of the time you're not no Rudy Poot. Now, sometimes, you know, you can win a medal in the Olympics, and in the professionals, you ain't that good. But we'll see. I'm going to go check him out, though. What's his record, L Dub? Let me know what his record is. Zenith 360 says Inouye Fulton camp are the sources. Fulton said they got another date already. But yeah, they said it was postponed. They didn't say the date though, but they said yeah. Macados Mac of the South says Plant gonna have to stick and move, control his breathing, don't get hit too much, and just bring it to Benavidez for him to win. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a great breakdown, but it's easier said than done. But one thing, like I said, I'm sticking to it. Plant better be in 15-round shape. Plant better be in 15-round shape, because if he's not, he is not going to be able to keep up with David Benavidez output. David Benavidez is going to get him tired and he's going to wear him down if he's not in 15-round shape. In Jesus' name, he's the answer, says David Benavidez is my cousin. Okay. I mean, I don't know if you trolling, or I don't know if he really your cousin, but if he is, hey man, it's a hell of a man. David Benavidez, the reason that got me to become a huge fan of David Benavidez is because of his mentality. Like, he don't turn down no smoke, and he got that old school way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? And he really want to show that he is the best. And he's willing to fight anybody to show that he the best. It ain't too many fighters like that left in the game. So my man said, Zenith said he 12-0. He got 7 he said he 12-0. 7 KOs. So that's like what, 60% Trayshawn Edwards. I gotta look him up. Not that familiar with him. Oh, okay. Yeah, David Bell. Benavidez, he's been saying he guaranteed that he gonna knock Caleb Plant out. But we gonna see, man. We gonna see, because Caleb Plant can fight too. Caleb Plant ain't no Rudy Poop. But you know what? I wasn't that impressed with Caleb Plant in the Anthony Dirrell fight. I thought he was beating Anthony Dirrell clearly, but I thought a lot of them rounds was too close with Anthony Dirrell, and I thought Caleb Plant was just go embarrass Anthony Dirrell and outbox the shit out of him. Now, he was winning the fight for sure. He was beating Anthony Dirrell clearly, but I thought he was just going to embarrass Anthony Dirrell. And, he was timid. You know what I'm saying? Like, when he fought Anthony Dirrell, it was like he wouldn't stand in the pocket enough with Anthony Dirrell. He was doing too much moving and trying to, move around and kind of, stay away from Anthony Dirrell. I didn't like that. Anthony Dirrell is a much older fighter, and I thought he should have went in there and, just put on a boxing clinic on Anthony Dirrell, and that ain't what I saw. Now, he did, he set up that combination when he knocked him out. He set up that shit beautiful. But overall, I wasn't too impressed with the Anthony Dirrell fight. So he's going to have to show me something better in this fight, especially to beat David Benavidez. Excuse me. Real talk. Do I think Breadman is setting up Caleb Plant for a visit to the hospital? Nah, man. Caleb Plant gonna hold his own. You know what I'm saying? And people got to realize, man, that David Benavidez is a dangerous fighter. But like I said before, he don't hit as hard as Canelo Alvarez. And his thing is more accumulation of punches. He wears you down. You know what I'm saying? He gets you tired to where he just gets you stuck in the corner. Once you wear down, and he just gonna pour it on you. But I wouldn't be surprised if David Benavidez can't knock out Caleb Plant. First of all, Caleb Plant, he don't have no weak chin. That shit that happened with Canelo, he was dead tired in the Canelo fight. He wasn't in the shape that he should have been against Canelo. Canelo hit a lot harder. Canelo wore him down to the body. And then the shot that Canelo hit him with, Canelo caught him clean. One thing, Canelo got a high IQ. You know what I'm saying? And Caleb Plant, he kept when he would punch, and then he kept dipping. He kept dipping off to his right. You know what I'm saying? He kept dipping off to his right. And after a while, Canelo Alvarez, he saw he was doing that. He saw that Caleb Plant kept punching and then trying to get out the way and dip to the right. And Caleb Plant, with his IQ, he was like, okay, I'm going to time him. And he timed him and caught him with a clean uppercut. And, he started timing him because Caleb Plant kept doing the same shit over and over. let's see, you know. But I got Benavidez, but it's gonna be a hell of a fight. Don't be surprised. Seattle Rick, what's happening with it? Salute to my guy Seattle Rick. Says, let's go Team Benavidez. Yeah. So for David Benavidez, man, he come out and he get this victory. It's gonna be a new sheriff in town. You know what I'm saying? You got, I don't like to, you know, get into that who is the face of boxing and all of that, because really, you know, right now, Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia, right? They look like they the faces of boxing. Once Errol Spence and announce his fight, it's going to look like he the face of boxing. You know what I'm saying? Canelo fight somebody that's worthy, it's going to look like he the face of boxing again. Wilder come on the scene and he get a big fight with somebody with Anthony Joshua, it's going to look like he the face of boxing again, right? So I don't like to get into that who is the face of boxing, because really, boxing really live here on YouTube, and the face of boxing is really whoever we talking about the most. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about the face of boxing, who are the YouTube channels talking about the most, right? Who are the people who they talking about the most? So it's multiple faces of boxing. It ain't just one person that just, oh man, he ruled boxing. It's not just one person. So when it comes to the face of boxing, right? Jesus, he said AZ AZ definitely in the building. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm at, my town. But when it comes to the face of boxing, right? I think the Mexican fans, right? As far as the Mexican fans, some of y'all looking for a new face of boxing, because Canelo ain't doing it no more. Canelo had his run, and it looked like that Canelo run is pretty much coming to an end. He dipping and ducking and dodging around the opponents in his weight class. Canelo gonna go, if he does fight Bivol again, Bivol probably gonna beat him worse than he did the first time. You know what I'm saying? Canelo can't beat Bivol. I don't care. Let me say it again. Canelo cannot beat Bivol. So Canelo take another L to Bivol. The Mexican fans, they gonna be looking for a new a new face of boxing, right? And you don't need to look too far if Caleb Plant wins in dominating fashion this weekend. If Caleb Plant beats, not Caleb Plant, if David Benavidez wins in dominating fashion this weekend, if David Benavidez whoop on Caleb Plant and does it in better fashion than Canelo Alvarez, I'm going to tell all of the Mexican fan base right now, y'all better jump on David Benavidez bandwagon right now, because he will be the new face of boxing for the Mexican fan base. He talk more shit than Canelo. He's more personable than Canelo, right? He's a lot more open to the fans than Canelo is. You know what I'm saying? He do interviews in English and full interviews in Spanish if needed. So David Benavidez, to me, right? He's more sellable to the Mexican fan base, because not only can the Mexican fan base relate to David Benavidez, all of the fans can relate to David Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? So y'all better, embrace David Benavidez, and he has a mentality that's the complete opposite of Canelo Alvarez. You're not going to see David Benavidez fighting goddamn Abner Yildirim and John Ryder and shit. You're not. The only reason y'all see David Benavidez fighting the opponents that he fights is because he ain't been able to get the other big fights with the big names. But I think that David Benavidez has the potential to become a much bigger star than Canelo Alvarez. He a more exciting fighter. You know what I'm saying? All action packed. And like I said, he don't turn down no smoke. So it is it. And y'all, am I good? My connection good? It looked like my connection messing up. Can y'all, am I good? Hold on, y'all. I think I'm good. Y'all let me know if my connection is good. Okay. But yeah, man, I think that David Benavidez, man, all around, he's just better, man. He's better to be the face of, boxing for the Mexican fan base. But like I said, it ain't no one face of boxing. It's not. So people need to cut it out with this, oh man, who is the face of boxing? Man, people say shit and think because they say it, that shit just means something. The face of boxing, all that shit is opinionated because, like I said, YouTube is where boxing is ran at. And it's about who is running the airwaves. Who is people talking about? Those are the faces of boxing. You got plenty of face. If you ask me who are the faces of boxing, I would say Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, David Benavidez, Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia, whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? It's like Wilder. You know what I'm saying? Wilder, because people really be wanting to tune in and see what's going on with him. And those are pretty much the face of the boxing. You know what I'm talking about? Those are pretty much the face of the boxing. Devin, I said Terence Crawford already. Yeah, Clarissa Shields is definitely the face of women's boxing. Devin Haney ain't quite there yet. Stephen Fulton ain't quite there yet. I wouldn't even, you know what? And I wouldn't even really put Caleb Plant and David Benavidez in that space yet, but they kind of like right behind the pack. You know what I'm saying? If David Benavidez, whoever win this fight, I'm not even going to put David Benavidez and Caleb Plant in there yet, right? But whoever wins this fight this Saturday will be in that mix. Tyson Fury is definitely, I don't know if I'm going to put Tyson Fury in there. You feel me? I don't know if I'm going to put Tyson Fury in there. Shakur Stevenson he's right behind the pack. You know what I'm saying? He right behind the pack. But if you're talking about, and when I'm talking about the face of boxing, to where you could talk to one of your homeboys that don't watch boxing and they going to ask you about Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, right? You could talk to one of your partners that don't really watch boxing. They're going to ask you about, oh, man, Deontay Wilder fighting this weekend. You could talk to somebody that really don't watch boxing like that. They're going to ask you, oh, man, Canelo Alvarez fighting? They're going to ask you about Gervonta Davis. Ryan Garcia, now, you know what I'm saying? So it's a few faces of boxing, but and those people that I named, they definitely the faces of boxing. And the people that, other people naming like Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Caleb Plant, David Benavidez, they are right behind the pack. And David Benavidez and Caleb Plant, they both have their chance this weekend to be right in the pack. You know what I'm saying? They right outside of the pack, but after this weekend, whoever wins this fight, they gonna be part of the faces of boxing. And you know, Fury is real big in the UK, but I can't put Fury there as far as a face of boxing in the US because his last fights, nobody was talking about Tyson Fury. I'm not trying to knock Tyson Fury, but I'm just saying, when nobody really talking about Tyson Fury, the only time people was really talking about Tyson Fury like that is when he was fighting Deontay Wilder. So they let you know that Deontay Wilder is definitely one of the faces of boxing. Deontay Wilder kind of ran the airwaves of boxing for a while. Martin McLeon says if Devin beats Loma, that does a lot for his profile and moving him toward the group you named. Yeah, but I just, man, to me, it's kind of like, right? I feel you, man. Like, if we talking about the best fighters in boxing, well, you got to put Devin Haney in there, right? If we talking about the best fighters in boxing, yeah, Devin Haney got to definitely go in that pack. But when we talking about the faces of boxing, who is running the airwaves, who is, you know, who can you ask a person that really don't watch boxing like that? They're not really talking about Devin Haney. They never talked about Vasyl Lomachenko. I think that Devin Haney, it gives him more. I don't know, man. It's just Devin Haney, he needs to be able to fight somebody. And Bill Haney and Devin Haney understand this, right? And not taking nothing away from Vasyl Lomachenko in that fight, because to me, that's a hell of a fight. To me, Vasyl Lomachenko and Devin Haney, one of the best fights that's coming up in boxing, right? But Lomachenko his name don't hold weight like that. You know what I'm talking about? His name don't really hold weight like that to a casual fan. They don't really know too much about a Vasyl Lomachenko. You know, he a foreign fighter, don't speak English, and he wasn't able to market himself like that. But Devin Haney, he's going to need to fight somebody like a Teofimo Lopez, a Gervonta Davis, even a Shakur Stevenson. He gonna need a big fight like that for for him to be considered in that space, because I think once he get a big fight like that in his name and the fight that he has start hitting with casual fans, then Devin Haney, he gonna eventually get there, because what boxing has become, it ain't really about the best fighting the best no more. The best fighter beating the other best fighter that you think, you know what I'm saying? This shit is a goddamn popularity contest. That's just what it is. I've been saying that shit, and I'm gonna continue to say it, man. It's more of a popularity contest. Just is what it is now. People don't really, it ain't really too many fans of boxing like that no more. You got people that's more fans of the favorite fighter, or a few fighters that they like. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. This shit just got crazy. But over here we gonna focus on boxing and the fights and all of that other, nonsense. We ain't focusing on none of that shit no more over here. Powerhouse Watson says T.O. ducked the smoke. Maybe Haney versus Shakur moves the needle, but I don't know if Haney will beat Shakur. I pay for that fight. That's a hell of a fight. Hell of a fight. I think, to me, right now, to me, the best fights in boxing that can happen right now. David Benavidez, Caleb Plant. David Benavidez, Canelo Alvarez. Right? Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, of course. Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. But to me, what's even a better fight than Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson, the best fight to me that can happen at 135 pounds is Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson. To me, that is the best fight that can happen at 135, without a shadow of a doubt. And I'm not shitting on Devin Haney. I'm not shitting on nobody else in that division. But to me, when you look at the style matchup, when you look at everything that is surrounded, right? Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis is the best fight. The next best fight is, to me, in that division, I'm gonna move Shakur Stevenson and put Devin Haney in that slot. So the two best fights that can happen in the division of 135 pounds, they both include Gervonta Davis. Real talk. I got to keep it 100 with y'all. Y'all know how I do. I'm gonna keep it 100 always. My favorite fighters in that division, to me, I had to go with Shakur first, Devin Haney first, and even though I've said that I got Tank Davis edging out Devin Haney, right, beating Devin Haney, but I still like Devin Haney better because I like how he carry himself. I like how he want all of the smoke. You know what I'm saying? And then Gervonta Davis is my third, right? As far as who I like. But it ain't about who I like. I know that the best fights in that division, both of the best fights, got Tank Davis in there. Tank and Shakur number one, Tank and Devin Haney number two. And the reason I got Tank and Shakur number one is because when you break that matchup down, you got something that you don't see in boxing. This is some shit that you see in boxing maybe once every 10 years, right? Now, as far as the Devin Haney and Shakur, right? Instead of Shakur and Devin Haney, right? Because a lot of people will say, well, I like Shakur and Devin Haney better. Well, I like Devin Haney and Tank better, right? That would be my second fight because let me so read this comment, y'all. Read this comment. So dude is trying to tell me that Shakur is not 135 pounder. Dude just told me that Shakur don't fight at 135. And then he put a bruh behind that shit like he really know what he talking about. He tried to come in here and school me and tell me that Shakur Stevenson don't fight at 135. I'm gonna leave that up there for a little bit. I'm gonna let y'all get on his ass. But anyway, right? The reason I like instead of Shakur and Devin Haney, the reason I like Tank Davis and Shakur better is for the simple fact is that Tank Davis and Tank Davis and Devin Haney. Tank Davis and Devin Haney, man, that story that they got real beef. They really don't like each other. The hype and the build up to that fight, the sparring stories, they need to get it on. F all of that sparring stuff. I know a lot of people, they get off on hearing that Gervonta Davis, rocked Devin Haney when he was 16, 17 years old. That's cool. It's cool to talk about. You know what I'm saying? But that shit really don't mean nothing today when both of them are grown men. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney is a grown man now, got his grown man strength. Gervonta Davis been a grown man. And so all of that shit that happened in sparring, it's cool to talk about. You know what I'm saying? We're going to make stories about the shit. But other than that, that's all it is. It means nothing. You know what I'm saying? It means nothing at all. So I really don't care about that. But I think that's a great storyline. And it's a great fight, too. I don't think the fight is as good as a fight as Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis. But, hey, Who knows? They all should be fighting each other anyway. My man Dub Rightside in that super chat, he says, I got Devin Haney and David Benavidez over everybody. And bro, I don't have no problem with that. Just like I say, I got Shakur Steve, I got Gervonta Davis probably stopping Shakur. I'm not 100% sure about that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a damn near 50-50 fight. I just think that, it could go either way because Devin Haney, he definitely can outbox Gervonta Davis. He definitely can outbox Gervonta Davis. But the thing is, can he move and outbox Gervonta Davis for 12 rounds? Because I went back, right? Let's talk about this real quick, right? I've been wanting to talk about this. Because this weekend, sometimes I get in the mode to where I just want to study fights. So late night this weekend, I grabbed my phone and I'm in bed and I'm watching Gervonta Davis versus who did I watch? It was it? Hold on. It was Tank. Nah, I done forgot. I watched. Oh, yeah. I watched Tank Davis versus Mario Barrios. Right? I went and studied Tank Davis versus Mario Barrios because Mario Barrios, he's tall and he lanky like Ryan Garcia. They different fighters, but they got, similarities to each other in the way that they built, right? And they height and everything. So I went back and I watched, Tank versus Mario Barrios. And Tank Davis lost. Real talk. If anybody want to argue with me about this, we can watch the show and we can score it together. We can watch the fight and we can score it together, right? Do a separate show. We can watch the fight. We can score the fight together. Tank Davis lost like the first. He lost every round in that fight all the way up until I think it was the 6th round where he got the 2 knockdowns. Like he was losing 5 straight rounds in that fight. 6 rounds, right? Whatever round he got the knockout in, right? He was losing all of the rounds until he got knocked down, until he got those 2 knockdowns in the 6th or 7th round, right? And I said, damn, Mario Barrios was really outboxing Tank. And he was, you know what I'm saying? But once Tank turned up, right? Mario Barrios got tired. And I'm not even going to say it's because he got tired. Once Tank turned up and he stepped on the gas pedal and he really, really got active and he started pressuring Mario Barrios, made Mario Barrios have to start, fighting off the back foot. Mario Barrios didn't have no answer to that then. You know what I'm saying? He was still trying to fight Tank, but Tank was just, he kind of just pressed the gas and came with a whole nother level. And the reason I'm saying this is because I'm studying that fight and I'm looking at that fight and I'm like, damn, if Gervonta Davis does this against Ryan Garcia, this shit is going to get real ugly for Ryan Garcia. Because I see Tank when he press on the gas and he he stopped. Because I think a lot of times with Gervonta Davis, yeah, he's trying to figure you out and all of that. But I think he get in his own head sometimes. I think that Tank, I'm going to say this. I think that his fans look at him as a fucking superhero. And he look at himself as just a normal man that can fight. You know what I'm talking about? So I think that Tank, sometimes he have doubts. But once those doubts go out the window and he like, fuck it, I'm going to turn it up on y'all, Tank a different type of fighter. And I seen that, man, when he started pressing Mario Barrios, he didn't have no answer for that heat that was coming at him. But shit, the fight was a draw all the way up into the knockout. When Gervonta Davis knocked him out, even with the 2 or 3 knockdowns, This how many rounds that Mario Barrios was winning way more rounds than Tank. Tank was only in that fight because of the knockdowns. You know what I'm saying? If Tank never had to knock Mario Barrios down, Tank wouldn't have won that fight at all. You know what I'm saying? But he knocked him down several times and he was able to get the victory. You know what I'm saying? But he turned it on and he went to a whole nother level. And when I seen him go to in Bumpy Thompson, you can agree to all you want. You can disagree. Like I said, anybody can disagree. Like I said, I challenge anybody. We can do I'll do a whole nother show and I'll play the fight and we can score the fight round by round. Like I said, I study fights. And the judges in the official, right? The unofficial judge, Steve Farhood, had the same exact score I did. And but yeah. And Nick J says that's why Floyd said what he said. He saw it too. Exactly. That's why Floyd told him you losing the fight, dog. But other than that, like I said, I say all that to say this is when Gervonta Davis want to turn it on and go to the next level, a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? That shit is different. When he want to turn it on and go to a whole nother level, it's different. And he did that in the Mario Barrios fight. And when he does that, because he gonna do it if it's needed in the Ryan Garcia fight, when he does that, it's gonna look bad for Ryan Garcia. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I saw. I said, man, Ryan Garcia ain't really got no chance if Tank Davis, once he start pressing that gas on him and turning it up on him. You know what I'm talking about? Ryan Garcia ain't, So, yeah, man, Tank was losing a lot of rounds in that fight. Basically all of the rounds until he got that knockdown. Martin McLeon said, when he step on the gas, it's a flat line. Yeah, man, it's different. That's what I saw in that fight. Coach Amber says, if it's a fight I really want to see, I have to score it on the replay. She says, it's hard to enjoy it when you're actually taking score in real time. Yeah, like I said, that's why I went back and I studied the fight. Because, me watching the fight in real time, just for the first time, you kind of look at the fight different. But I went back and I studied that fight, and I'm like, damn, Tank actually losing all these damn rounds. I didn't remember him losing rounds like that. You know what I'm talking about? So, Bumpy Thompson says Farhood is never accurate. So you mean to tell me you more accurate? Is that what you're trying to tell me? I'm just saying. You got your opinion. I studied the fight. Did you watch the fight several times? Did you study it? That's all I'm asking. Anyway, y'all smash my like button. Y'all smash the like button. Smash the like button. Yeah, but yeah, I studied that fight. I broke the fight down, and I don't got no reason to come and make up shit. Because I already knew that Tank had won the fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm studying the fight to see like little things that he do and similarities. If Barrios and Ryan Garcia have similarities and things like that, and watching the fight, I'm like, damn, I didn't really know he lost that many rounds. But when he turned it up, it was a whole different level. That's what I did. You know what I'm saying? Fuck all the, the scorecards and all of that. What I took from the fight, see, y'all, a lot of y'all get real sensitive when it comes to Gervonta Davis. Like, I don't know. And I ain't talking about you, Bumpy Thompson. I'm saying a lot of people get very, very, very sensitive when anybody say anything about Gervonta Davis. And I wouldn't even knock him. He did lose a lot of rounds. I don't care what nobody say. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to chill with that. You know what I'm saying? Niggas get super sensitive. Like, real talk. Y'all niggas get so goddamn sensitive, you know what I'm saying, over that grown-ass man Tank Davis. But anyway, what I really took from the fight is that, hey, when he turns it up and he let his hands go and he like determined and he pressed on the gas, he's even more dangerous. He a different type of fighter. You know what I'm saying? He a whole different type of fighter. So that's all I was saying, That's all I was saying. The Real Deal says, we ain't going for no BS. Tell the truth. Let me read that again. This nigga told me, we ain't going for no BF. Tell the truth. No BS. Tell the truth. So this nigga just came on here and told me that I'm making up shit and I'm lying. You know what? Like I said last time, this what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to block your ass. Nigga, goodbye. Like what Blue Blood be telling, goodbye. You know what I'm saying? Goodbye. Real talk. Now you tell the truth on another nigga channel. Anyway, I don't got time to be fooling with, like, what I'm not doing no more. I'm not dealing with none of these emotional ass niggas, right? That think that they supposed to fucking, like I'm a goddamn puppet master. Like I gotta come in here and say exactly what you want me to say. You know what I'm talking about? Motherfucker, I got my own brain and my own eyes. I'm not gonna say what you want me to say just because you in my chat. Fuck I look like to you. Niggas got some goddamn nerves, man. For real. I ain't dealing with that type of shit no more. Niggas come in here thinking they running shit and get to talking crazy. I'm just blocking you. I'm not doing all that extra shit no more. You know? I didn't get on YouTube for that, you know. But yeah, y'all smash my like button though, because you know, like I said before, man, them type of people, they not finna support anyway. They just come up in this motherfucker, they not supporting. They ain't never, you know what I'm saying, dropped the super chat. They probably 9 times out of 10 ain't hitting the like button or none of that shit. So I ain't doing that shit no more. You know, you can have your opinion, but you ain't gonna sit up here and tell me I'm lying and shit because I said I watched the fight and you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you how I scored it. Shit crazy to me. But anyway, let's move on. But let's move on. You know what I'm saying? Let's move on. Let's talk about these tweets. Let's talk about these tweets that Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. Let's talk about them. Because, man, it's like, I'm sick of this mess with EJ and Bud. It's like all of this all of these cryptic tweets and all of this, you know, sources say, and they talking on the phone and this and that. Like, it's just getting silly. You know what I'm talking about? So it's either y'all gonna fight or y'all ain't gonna fight. You know what I'm talking about? And last night, EJ funny though. I ain't gonna lie. Because like I said in my video, if y'all ain't checked my video, I cooked on, some of this. Errol Spence is much different than Bud Crawford. And y'all smash my like button. You know what I'm saying? Do me a favor, smash the like button. Errol Spence is much different than Bud Crawford because Errol Spence, a lot of fans troll him. They talk a lot of shit to him all the time. And he kind of fuck with him. Like, he don't do like EJ. I mean, he don't do like Terence Crawford do. Terence Crawford get mad. He be wanting motherfucking fans addressing shit. He be threatening them, talking about he gonna pull up. Talking about, you know what I'm saying, your mama should have swallowed you, you a bitch, and you this, and fuck you, where you at, you know what I'm saying? If I see you, I'm gonna beat your ass, and all of that, right? He can't take the criticism because he's used to everybody praising him and telling him he's this, and he's the best, and you know what I'm saying? He come from a small town, Omaha. You know what I'm saying? He come from Omaha, Nebraska, so he's used to being put on a pedestal. He's not used to getting criticism, and fans trolling him on the internet. Errol Spence, he different. Fans troll him, get to talking the shit to him. He laughing with him. He clowning with him and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just laugh at that shit. He don't let it bother him. The only thing that he does, you know what I'm saying? He uses it as motivation. But last night is funny because fans get to go on there and they trolling him talking about announce your next fight. When they get announce your next fight. When you gonna announce? You need to announce your next fight. He go in there and he says no with a whole bunch of he's laughing and shit at him like, bitch, no, I'm not announcing it. That shit was funny as hell. I'm gonna show y'all. He just be playing with people and shit. If y'all can see. He put no with a whole bunch of motherfucking exclamation marks and shit. But he gets off on that, right? Like, he'll put up shit on Twitter knowing that he just fucking with the fans, right? Or fucking with people. He'll put up like 2 eyeball emojis. And I said this in my video. He'll put up like 2 eyeball emojis. And he'll just do it just for shits and giggles, knowing that it's a gang of dudes on YouTube that's gonna make videos off of him just putting 2 eyeball emojis. They gonna take that shit, they gonna run with it and say, Errol Spence letting the fans know that the date is set for Terence Crawford, and he's looking right through Terence Crawford. Breaking news. And so he do shit like that, and he just sit back and laugh at that shit. Like, these motherfuckers crazy as hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he used the internet as entertainment, and he likes that. He don't let it get to him, and he don't let it bother him. Terence Crawford, total opposite, right? He lets that shit get in his head. He let it bother him. But, after putting that last night, Errol Spence, he comes back, and he puts a comment, and he says, I don't apologize for the inactivity, laugh out loud. Hopefully, it'll make sense in a few weeks. Now, he says, hopefully. Now, a lot of people reading that tweet and people saying, hey, is he talking about Terence Crawford? Is he about to announce something with Terence Crawford in the next few weeks? Because I look at it like this, right? I really don't think he's talking about Keith Thurman, because right now at this point in time, Keith Thurman is kind of, the longer this lingers out, Keith Thurman is becoming more and more irrelevant. Real talk. If you ask a casual boxing fan that even knew Keith Thurman, they're going to ask you, is he still boxing? Like, Keith Thurman still fight? We thought he retired a long time ago. You don't see nothing from Keith Thurman. You don't hear from Keith Thurman. Like, he's kind of irrelevant now. You know what I'm talking about? He just had his wife just had another baby. And shout out to his wife and congratulations to Keith Thurman and his wife having another baby. But that, when you look at that, you like, is he focused? Keith Thurman been out of the ring another year and a half. It ain't his fault. This time it's not his fault. But, well, it'll be another year and a half, damn near 2 years again. whenever they announce whoever Keith Thurman fighting. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like the more time go on, the more Keith Thurman becomes more and more irrelevant. So I don't think he's talking about Keith Thurman that is all going to make sense, because if he was talking about Keith Thurman, well, that's who they said you're going to fight anyway. So him saying, hopefully in a few weeks, it'll all make sense. That sounds like something big, right? Not only that, Terence Crawford comes right behind him. Terence Crawford comes behind him, and he says, and if for those who don't know, Terence Crawford got his house broken in and they stole his jewelry, right? They stole all his jewelry, and he had put out $100,000, right, for anybody that, you know, came up with his jewelry or told him who stole his jewelry. He put out a tweet saying, hey, I'll pay anybody $100K to let me know who stole my jewelry, right? So after Errol Spence put that up, Terence Crawford, he comes and he says, everything happens for a reason. I'm still focused at the matter. He says, I'm still focused at what matters the most. And that's bigger than, he says, and that's bigger than that little shit that they took. Watch. He says, I'm focused on what matters the most. And that's bigger than that little shit that they took. Watch. And so it's kind of like, he talking about watch. Now, if he talking about that, he got something big, right? And telling people to watch, I know he definitely ain't talking about no goddamn Alexis Cockroacher. He definitely ain't talking about no motherfucking Cockroacher at all. You know what I'm talking about? So I don't think that Errol Spence is talking about Keith Thurman, because he was never too excited about Keith Thurman himself. And I sure don't think that Terence Crawford is talking about no Cockroacher. Because if he's talking about motherfucking Alexis Cockroacher, he done lost his goddamn mind. Because there ain't nothing big about that shit. So, you know, I don't know. I think that EJ saying hopefully it'll all make sense in a couple weeks. I think that he's thinking that, you know, maybe this time Bud Crawford might take the fight. You know what I'm talking about? Because, see, this is the thing. This is what's different between us fans like myself and EJ. EJ, he believed that Bud Crawford wants to fight him. You know what I'm saying? Bud Crawford didn't fool EJ into believing that he really wants to fight. You know what I'm talking about? But a lot of us fans, including myself, I don't believe it. He got to show me, dog. That shit that he pulled last time, that shit showed me that he didn't want to fight. But Errol Spence, he still look at it like, I'm cool. He just wanted to get, you know, an easy bag. I ain't tripping on that. But he could have just told me. And if you ask EJ, he'll tell you like, yeah, I think he wants to fight, because Bud, when they talk behind the scenes, Bud talking a whole bunch of cash shit. He's making EJ believe that he really, really, really wants to fight as bad as he do. So some can say he got Errol Spence fooled. I don't know what the conversations they having behind the scenes, but EJ believed that he really wants to fight. So I believe that Errol Spence thinks in a couple of weeks, you know what I'm saying, once they get a few more things ironed out, that he going to be able to come out and announce a Terence Crawford fight. You dig what I'm saying? And I think that Bud Crawford, I don't know what he's talking about, but I know when he say, what was the word he used? Let me read this tweet again. Everything happens for a reason. I'm still focused at what matters the most. And that's bigger than that little shit they took. Watch. So Alexis Rocha ain't big. You dig what I'm saying? Let me say it again. Alexis Rocha ain't big. So I know he ain't talking about no goddamn roacher, no cockroacher. So, hey, you know, let's see, man. They teasing us again. This time, if they come with anything, it ain't gonna be, we ain't falling for no goddamn sources said or Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. They've agreed to fight each other. But but first Errol Spence is fighting, but goddamn Keith Thurman and Bud is going, go fight Cockroacher, and then after that, they've agreed to fight each other. I'm not going for none of that shit. Because if we get that, sources said they agreed after they both fight their next fights, we ain't getting the fight, dog. We not getting the fight. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm not going about none of that shit. What I have to hear, I gotta hear a date, not no sources say. I need a motherfucking definite date. And I need them to say next. Other than that, I ain't trying to hear none of that shit, dog. $1 Trillion Dreams, man. In that super chat, he says, EJ and Bud are seeing all these big fights being made, like Ryan versus Tank, David versus Plant, Anui versus Fulton, and they know that fair fight, and he said they know that their fight is losing steam. They know that they fight losing steam, man. I feel you, man. I feel you. And you make a great point. And what's happening with the KQKC Boxing Network? Mr. Wow. Mr. I call balls and strikes in the building. Yeah, man, I feel you, man. I gotta agree with that statement, $1 Trillion Dreams, because it's like you seeing everybody getting these big fights, right? They running boxing, they running the airwaves of boxing, and people ain't really talking about y'all as much no more. People kind of looking at y'all as like everything. Every time somebody talk about Bud Crawford and Errol Spence together, it's negative. They say, all these fighters that's talking about them, it's not positive no more. It's negative. They like, and we see these, we want to do different than what Bud Crawford and Errol Spence did. We want to make the big fights unlike Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. So it's negative. So they both seeing that. But at the same time, right, it definitely take two fighters to want to fight. You know what I'm saying? Take two fighters to want to fight. All of that shit bothers EJ, right? That bothers him not being able to fight the best in his division. But does it bother Terence Crawford? Because we've seen in the past that Terence Crawford, he don't seem like he cared too much. Just as long as he get in the bag. So if he come after making that statement that he made on Twitter, right? Reading between the lines. If he come out and announce that he fighting Alexis Rocha next, I don't give a fuck what they got talking about. And then next is Errol Spence. I don't want to hear that shit. Ain't nobody putting their energy in that shit. Well, some of y'all will. I'm not putting my energy in that shit. Like, oh man, yeah, man. Errol Spence, he just got to get past Keith Thurman, and Bud, he just got to get past motherfucking Cockroacher, and they said they gonna fight. I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to. Dank Father says a Golden Boy deal might just be big for Crawford. He could be talking about that too, dog. But what is EJ talking about? Because I don't think EJ, right? He sounded like he got something big coming, and I don't think what he got coming, I don't think Keith Thurman, he too enthused about that. So I think that EJ is thinking that him and Bud is going to be able to make a deal. Because he already told y'all he's spinning the block on Bud. He going to do whatever it takes to get this fight done. That's Errol Spence's mindset. I want to do whatever it takes to get the fight done. I'm going to tell y'all right now. Because Errol Spence has always said that he wanted to become undisputed. He moved up to 154. If he move up to 154, You know what he gonna have to go through to be undisputed at 154. Because Jermell Charlo, he said he ain't never moving up. Jermell Charlo said he's staying at 154 pounds for his whole career. Let's talk about that. I'm gonna go take a piss real quick because this water, this water and shit, and this energy drink is running through me. And I'm gonna be back. Y'all hit the like button. You know, everybody in the building, do me a favor that haven't hit the like button, smash the like button. And we gonna talk about real quick, you know, EJ moving up to 154. You want to become undisputed there? You're gonna have to go through Jermell Charlo. Jermell ain't moving up ever, he said. So I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna chop it up with y'all about that. Give me 1 second. And while we wait, like I said, hit the like button. Give me a quick second. I'll be right back. All right, we back. So like I was saying, man, before I left is Jermell Charlo, right? He said he's not leaving the division ever. He's staying at 154 pounds, right? So it's like EJ know, man. He know that if he don't get undisputed from Terence Crawford, he gonna have to make a big decision because he already told everybody he moving up. You know what I'm talking about? So if you move up without getting undisputed versus Terence Crawford, now he gonna be hungry to get undisputed at 154. And so I think he looking at it like, look, man, I got to get undisputed at 147. Then I can move up, and you know what I'm saying? Eventually, Jermell Charlo gonna have to relinquish some of them titles, at least 2 of them. You know what I'm talking about? He can't. You know how boxing is. You know how the politics is. They gonna hit Jermell Charlo with a mandatory, all these mandatories at the same time. You know what I'm talking about? They gonna hit him with all type of different mandatories at the same time, and then he gonna end up having to relinquish one of them or 2 of them, or however it may be. So if EJ he get undisputed at 147, then he gonna be cool with just going to 154 and being unified. Now, if not, you know what I'm saying? If he don't get this Terence Crawford fight to become undisputed at 147, we already know he moving up still. Then he gonna be looking at Jermell Charlo like, hey, we gonna eventually have to get it on. You know, and that fight right there, man, it's It's going to get big because they're going to be at the same division, the same time, maybe for the rest of their careers. I don't know if EJ eventually going to move up to 160. He is already, 32, 33. Jermell Charlo around the same age, maybe a year older. So Jermell Charlo, like I said, with him saying that he's never going to move up, Jermell Charlo says, I'm never moving up. I'm staying in this division my whole career unless it's a big fight. Like somebody like Canelo. Now, we know Canelo ain't making no fight with Jermell Charlo. So him staying in the division, him being the top dog in the division, Errol Spence being the top dog in the division, the fans are going to start pushing him and demanding that fight. Houston versus Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Now, if the networks, they see the fans are demanding that fight, and they get to pushing it behind the scenes like, hey, we got big money for this fight. This is what everybody want to see. They might end up having to scratch. You know what I'm talking about? They might end up having to scratch. Because I'm telling y'all, the division, you know what I'm saying? It's only big enough for one top dog. Well, he says, I don't think Mel is staying long in the ring. Nah, Jermell, he don't sound like he retiring no time soon. You dig what I'm saying? And for sure, he ain't moving up. Because, you know what I'm saying? For sure, Jermell ain't moving up. He let it be known. I ain't going nowhere. I'm right here. Because, see, before people was kind of like assuming that he was going to move up. Oh, now when EJ go to 154, Jermell going to move up to 160. Niggas was assuming that he was going to move up. And he like, I'm not a huge 154 pounder. Like, I make the weight easy. I stay in shape all year round. It ain't hard for me to make the weight. So why would I move up? I'm not moving up. And I don't have no problem with that because 154 pounds is going to continue to get killers coming to the division. It's not dying off. You know what I'm talking about? Smooth Groove boxing straight from that Oak Cliff off in the building. What's happening with it, Smooth Groove? Uppercuts, what's happening with it? Knockout, what's happening with it? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? It ain't dying off. 154 is always had so much smoke in it, and it's only going to get better. You know, eventually you got Boots that's going to come to the division. You got Virgil Ortiz that's going to come to the division. You know, Errol Spence coming within the next year. Errol Spence going to be at 154. You might have Keith Thurman going there. You got Danny Garcia, you know, he already at the division, and it's just going to continue to grow. You got Fundora, he already in that thing, you know what I'm talking about? So it's going to continue to get bigger. So, hey, yeah, uppercuts. Well, Jermell just said it too. So Jermell, you know, he said, I heard what EJ said, and you know, yeah, we could fight. He said, I'm not finna turn down no smoke. He said, me and EJ can fight if the bag is right. But he says, right now, I'm focused on other things. That's not my focus. But, hey, so they're going to end up having a fight because the fans is going to hold them to that. You know what I'm talking about? Jermell, he going to have to, for that fight, he going to have to find another trainer. And it is what it's going to be. It's going to be what it's going to be. Because once they put that bag in their face, if that bag is big enough, you can't turn it down. You can't turn the smoke down if the bag is big enough. Now, if they ain't, you know what I'm saying, trying to offer them no big money to do it, the fight ain't going to happen. But I believe that fight, Houston versus Dallas, I believe that fight could sell out Dallas Cowboys Stadium. I do. I believe that fight, you know what I'm saying, or get close to it. I think they could at least put, 75, 80,000 in there. That fight could put 75, 80,000 in Dallas Cowboys Stadium. Houston versus Dallas. You got to think Houston and Dallas alone gonna try to pack that bitch out. Then you got to think all of the boxing fans that's gonna fly out there to see that joint. That shit finna be big, man, if they ever do it. It's gonna be big, man. And like I said, man, it's gonna get serious once EJ moves up. Jermell Charlo beats Tim Tszyu. He still got them straight. It's gonna get serious. Cause hey, one thing we know about EJ, he ain't moving up to a weight division just to be another fighter in the division. His whole focus is to run shit. You know what I'm saying? I want this strap. I'm going to get this strap. I'm going to get this strap. And eventually, I need all the straps. So some shit got to shake. They in the same division. Some shit got to shake. And I heard the rumors before that Errol Spence, he was getting in Jermell Charlo's ass. But I think that Jermell Charlo has gotten a lot better since then. You know what I'm talking about? He's had been with Derrick James, for a long time now. He's become a more well-rounded fighter. He's dangerous. He got a lot of power. He's a motherfucking workhorse, an Iron Man for real. He never get tired. And yeah, man. And then you got EJ, man. I think EJ is the more all-around better fighter, but he's a smaller fighter. I think that Jermell Charlo pack more one punch knockout power than EJ do. And so they both dangerous. To me, yeah, I still would favor Errol Spence over Jermell, but hey, hell of a fight. That shit is a hell of a fight. And they both know each other, so that even makes it a tougher fight. They both know each other. So now one of them gonna walk through the other one. You know what I'm saying? Now one of them is gonna walk through the other one. So that's gonna be a hell of a fight. KQKC says the WBO sent Jermell a letter asking when he coming back. I don't know what they on his helmet for. The fuck they on his helmet for? He just broke his hand. Like, goddamn, let the man heal. They wasn't sending Canelo Alvarez no goddamn letter. They wasn't pressing Canelo and sending him letters asking him when he gonna come back and all that shit. Damn, the man just did an interview and told y'all, look, I'm coming back. I should be back, sometime late summer, June, July, August. I think he said July, August. Let the man fucking hand heal. God damn. They pick and choose who they want to do that type of shit with. We trying to rush that man back. Let the man heal. We know that, especially, right, with Jermell Charlo track record, he ain't never ducked out no motherfucking smoke. He ain't never set out of boxing and tried to take time off for nothing. You motherfuckers, man, they need to cut it out with that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? They be picking and choosing. But yeah, man, he need to tell him, fuck y'all, man. I'm ready when I'm ready. Shit. When my shit feel right, I'm ready. I'll let y'all know. But yeah, man, 154, now that we know that Jermell said he ain't moving up and he not moving up, he's staying at the division for the rest of his career. 154 is about to be hella lit. And like I said, man, some gonna shake. Some gonna shake and explode. But yeah, man, my man, Francion, he says, been checking out the channel for a few weeks. Good content. Man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming in here, man, and showing love to the channel, man, supporting. I appreciate you. Anything that people donate, it helped the channel grow, and it helped me be able to come on here and do these live streams and things like that. So much appreciated, man. But yeah, man, a lot of things going on in boxing. I think tomorrow, Wednesday, we will have the first press conference for David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. Well, for the opening. Is it tomorrow? I believe it's tomorrow. I believe on Wednesday is the main fighters. On Thursday, it is the undercard fighters. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that. Let's see what Caleb Plant and David Benavidez energy gonna be like at this press conference. Man, I can't wait, man. Hell of a fight week. We got a lot more stuff to talk about. Like I said, y'all smash the like button. I've been on here for an hour and 45 minutes, man. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Like I said, I will be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. Make sure that y'all tune in. Make sure that y'all check for the notification. And I appreciate everybody that came in. And I appreciate the ones who, came through and showed love to the channel and supported. Like I said, appreciate everybody in the building. And y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again. And I'm gone, y'all. We out.